What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Bucos Locker, aka Locker Room Talk, with your host Isaiah. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share all the videos, and don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify all new videos that's posted on this channel. I appreciate all the support. I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate everything that you guys do for the channel and with the channel. Trust and believe everything is, good over here. Hopefully everything's good with you guys. Shouts out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits. Who do we have in the chat room right now? We're starting to get the chat room start to pop up a little bit. Get a couple shout outs. BT, Grizzlo, Will Mag. What's going on with you, baby? What it do? What the business is? Word on the street. So I wanted to drop a quick little video. Kind of wanted to space these videos out. So I got a video today, video tomorrow, video Friday, probably one on Saturday. So I'm going to drop some videos back to back just to cover some different topics. And these videos are not going to be super long. Might do one on Sunday, but we'll see. So hopefully everybody recovered from the loss, a tough loss on the road against a well-coached team, the New Orleans Saints. Shouts out to all the Saints fans. Congratulations and enjoy your victory for now, because you remember, you got to come to Tampa. You got to come to Tampa. You got to come to Tampa. We owe you one. We owe you one. What you did to us, we can do to you at our home. So dance around all you want to. You got your little Halloween win and all that. Enjoy it. But guess what? Remember, you got to come to Tampa. And trust and believe, we gonna be on that AS. Don't worry about that. But now that hopefully everybody decompressed or detoxed themselves of that bad loss, because I got to tell you, it was a bad loss. You know what I'm saying? It was a bad loss. No matter how you spin that, no matter how many passing yards Brady had, how many touchdowns he had, it was just a bad loss. All around, I don't care about the yards. I don't care about the touchdowns. It's an L. All that means nothing. It was an L. So that's the thing about it. You could throw for a bunch of yards and run for a lot of yards and score a lot of touchdowns, but you lose. So what was all that for? It had no effect on the outcome of the game, which should have been a W. That's what you want in these type of games. I don't care. The Bucs could have ran for 200 yards and threw for 150. If we would have got that dub, it mattered. You could throw for 500 yards. But if you get an L, that's 500 yards with an L. That's an L. You can rush for 300 yards. If you lose, it's an L. So no matter how you spin this game, it's an L. Now, the Bucs are on a bye, so now they got time to recuperate. And they could be getting some players back. So help is on the way, possibly within these next 1 to 3 weeks for the stretch run. And these players, I'll name a few of them. Scotty Miller has been activated to be eligible to come off the injured reserve list. Also, Murphy Bunton. Expect Carlton Davis to be coming back. AB should be back within the 1 to 3 week time frame. Most likely he'll be back next game. So this is good for the Bucs. They can catch a break, recuperate, reevaluate the first half of the season, and get ready for the stretch run. Now, these guys that's coming back play a big role on the Bucs team. TEAM. No one player is responsible for wins or losses. I'm stand on that, and I will remain on that platform by myself or with my Pirates and my Sea Bandits. You can spin it how you want to spin it. You will never be able to convince me one player is responsible for wins and losses. That's what it is. So it's a good thing that these guys are coming back, especially these are key positions that the Bucs sorely need help in, and added depth always help any team. So we'll run it down real quick. Scotty Miller, his presence could have been definitely used against the Saints as a deep threat, big play ability. Not a it doesn't do a lot of route running. A lot of his plays are deep shots, like 90% of his plays. I never really see him run like square ends or slants. Really don't see him run out route. So he has a specialty on the team, and it's bombs away. So when he's on the field, you have to he has to be accounted for. And so with him coming back within the next 1 to 3 weeks, that's another explosive player on the field as far as bombs away. Because that's pretty much what he does, right? Which, I mean, that's a great thing to have. That's a great special power to have. It's a great special power to have to be on the field, and the team has to guard you. They can't press cover him because he's going to run by you. He's very quick. He's that twitchy guy that the Bucs need, right? And it's another guy that could be returning to that I'll get to in a second. A better receiver, way better. Future Hall of Famer. But also, just like Scotty Miller, matter of fact, we'll stay on offense. I'm not sure about Gronkowski. I don't know. He got, the back spasms I think it's just due to not playing the game for 4 weeks, and plus having those punctured ribs played a role too. So I'm not sure about his health for the next game. They might sit him out another game or two. His presence is needed, but it's not crippling the team, if that makes sense. Now, if this was prime Gronkowski, yes, it cripples the team, but this is the old Gronkowski. This is like 1 or 2 year left Gronkowski. I personally think that this might be his last year. Look at his body. It just can't hold up. No matter how hard he tries, he's just going to get hurt. It's just because he's a big guy, and he's a big target, and he's easy to hit, and he's not as quick as he used to be. So I wouldn't be surprised he shut the deuces after the season, because his body just is broken. He can't even recover from punctured ribs, you know what I'm saying? Because he's not healing fast, because over the years he's been hurt too much. He's played hurt a lot, and he can't play hurt for the Bucs. His body won't allow him to do that. No matter how much he wants to get out there. Like in the Saints game, he tried to get out there, and he couldn't. He just couldn't, right? So what this bye means for Gronkowski, hopefully that little time that he came out there, it wasn't so bad. So hopefully he'll be back next game. So he gets a full, basically 2 weeks, all this week, and then he gets all next week, and then the following Sunday. So he gets a full 2 weeks. So maybe he'll be back the next game. And we'll stay on offense. We also have Antonio Brown. He had an ankle injury. Now, the ankle injury was pretty, I wouldn't say significant, but it was serious enough to keep him out 2 games. And we definitely could have used him in the Saints game. It would have been a huge difference if we would have had the 1A. Antonio Brown is 1A, Godwin is 1B, then Gronkowski, then Evans, right? And that would have made it more difficult for the Saints to guard, certain plays. You know what I'm saying? And I think having AB and healthy Gronkowski and Scotty Miller, the outcome maybe would have been different. That's just my opinion. Maybe. I'm not saying I still would have picked the Saints, because that's just how I look at the schedule. But the outcome maybe would have been different in the 2-minute warning, or the 2-minute offense. But I still had the Bucs going 14-3. So you can spin it how you want to spin it. It is what it is. But AB coming back will be huge for the offense. The offense is already good. Even without AB, even without Gronkowski, even without Scotty Miller, the offense still moves. So that shows you it's like a plug-and-play offense. Now, there's levels to skill sets, but it's a plug-and-play offense. You can stick any receiver in there that's halfway decent, that got good hands, can run some decent routes. And most of the receivers in the NFL, the top, like I guess you could say every team's top 3 receivers, or maybe 4 receivers, you can take out receivers and take them out, our top 3 or 4 receivers, and put their top 3 or 4 receivers in there, and the offense will still be explosive. You get what I'm saying? You can stick a Cooper Kupp, you can stick a Robert Woods, a Tyler Higbee in there, and a Van Jefferson in that offense, and take out all our players, and take the Rams' top 4 receivers, and bombs away. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the offense really, And not to say it like this, but it really doesn't matter who's at the receiver, because as you can see, the offense is still moving. The Byron Leftwich called in plays. He calls a good game sometimes. For the most part, he has done that for most of the season. And then with the Rams and the Saints, yes, we had a lot of yards, but certain parts of the game, Byron Leftwich didn't do some things correctly, but he can clean those things up. And hopefully, I'm sure he will. They'll sit down and review the film. You don't have to tell Brady too much. He's been in the league 20 years. I think Brady knows. And Byron Leftwich kind of, I'm not saying that Byron Leftwich is playing a big role in calling the offense plays, but it's like a 50-50 thing, because you got the Tom Brady style offense, because he calls plays too, what he feels is comfortable for the receivers, and then also Byron Leftwich calls plays. Sometimes he probably calls about 2 or 3 plays, and Tom Brady has the option to check out of some plays. He has full control of the offense. He's not a baby, right? Byron Leftwich has his role with calling plays, but also you got to factor in the Tom Brady the Tom Brady factor, right? The X factor. Tom Brady, he, 20 years in the league, he can do what he want to do, right? You can't tell him no, right? He can tell you no. We saw that. He told Byron Leftwich, no, not running that. So, but during this bye, they'll clean up some things. They'll review a lot of film in the first 8 weeks, especially the Rams and Saints game. A couple plays, like a lot of those type of games, are decided in plays. It's not decided as a whole, right? It's certain moments in those games, in the Rams and the Saints game, that the Bucs did not execute all the way, and that's why they got an L in both of those games, which is a little concerning to me. 2 good teams we took L's to. We beat another good team, the Cowboys, and the Patriots are half and half, right? So I would say the Bucs are 1-2 against playoff teams, and that's a little concerning to me, because our schedule is not tough enough. It's not making us tough. It's making us more finesse, because our schedule is so easy. It's not our fault. It's not the Bucs' fault that the Bucs' schedule is easy. It's just when you have a lot of cupcakes and a lot of easy games, or games that you can win, and then when you play the teams like the Saints and the Rams and the Bills and the Cowboys, you're gonna struggle to win those games, and sometimes you're gonna lose. Those are really 50-50 games. The Cowboy game was a 50-50 game. If you look at the score, look how it was played. The Rams and Bucs game was a 50-50 game, and look how that came out. The Saints and Bucs wasn't a 50-50 game, but they had top-level coach, O-line, D-line, you know what I'm saying? And look how that came out. So that's why I circled the Bills game as another game that the Bucs most likely going to lose, because that team is elite, and the Bucs tend to run through bad teams and can't get over the hump with the good teams during the regular season, which is weird, but in the playoffs, they're going to ball out. That's what I'm thinking, right? But still, you still got to prepare yourself to get to the playoffs, because everybody's good. And the thing about it is the Bucs are not sneaking up on nobody this year. Last year, we snuck up on people. We did. Let's be honest. We snuck up on people. We surprised a lot of people. That wasn't expected. Not for me, but when I said the Super Bowl bust, it happened. You know what I'm saying? I was correct. But during this bye, they have a lot to assess on offense. A lot of good things, a couple bad things they can clean up, right? So that's what you do during the bye, and you get healthy. Defensively, specifically the secondary. Murphy Bunting has been activated. He can come back. He's designated to return within the window, the 1 to 3 week window, which is great. He's very much needed. Cockrell has done a great job to the best of his abilities, but you can see the limitations in Cockrell. He's a good backup. He provides great depth, but in the Rams Saints game, you can see, it's limited. So we need Murphy Bunting back, a really good slot guy, nickel guy, and he can even play on the outside. You know what I'm saying, if he wanted to. But the Bucs trying to utilize Jamel Dean more on the field. His play has improved a lot with Murphy Bunting being out, because Jamel Dean had to be a little bit more of pretty much the number one guy the last couple of weeks. And it helped them gain more confidence. Granted, it was against teams that don't have the Rams receivers, the Cowboys receivers, the Saints receivers are not good. The quarterback situation, they wasn't fully weaponized as far as weapons. You know what I'm saying? So if we would have seen Jamel Dean play like that against the Rams, the Cowboys, you know what I'm saying, or the Bills, then you can kind of say, okay, Jamel Dean has really improved. But by playing bad receivers, he's gained more confidence, if that makes sense, right? So these are confident building games for Jamel Dean. And even during his bye, he can go back and reassess what he has done good. And the next game I'm circling him for is also the Bills game as well, because the Bills have an explosive offense. So you will not be playing against Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields, Jacoby Brissett, even though he was moving the ball, a Jameis Winston slash Trevor Siemian. You know, all four offenses are not really the Rams or Cowboys offense. So how much can you assess Jamel Dean with Murphy Bunting being out and Carlton Davis being out? He's done a good job against bad passing offenses, right? So that's good, but that's confidence building. So when he gets to the Buffalo Bills, when he gets the rematch with the Rams or the Green Bay Packers, you know, the Arizona Cardinals, you know what I'm saying, or the Dallas Cowboys, he can have so much confidence. He'll play those top level receivers, that top level passing games a whole lot better, if that makes sense. So with Murphy Bunting coming back, Jamel Dean's confidence still gonna be high. You know what I'm saying? Jamel Dean's confidence is still going to be high. He just got to execute that against better passing teams, not bottom level passing teams. I always say this. I don't judge the Bucs off of beating bad teams. Those are confidence building games. I judge the Bucs on beating really good teams, really good coaches. That makes sense. And then Carlton Davis, he should be able to come back within the next game or two, you know what I'm saying, depending on how they look at it, maybe the next game. And his presence will be huge for the secondary. So now we have a possibility on the secondary. Carlton Davis is healthy, Murphy Bunting is healthy, Jamel Dean is with high confidence, you know, Winfield is, you know, he's healthy, and Jordan Whitehead, Mike Edwards, you know, now we got our full secondary back. Now, cohesion, continuity is going to be a little bumpy a little bit, you know what I'm saying, making the calls in the secondary, but the Bucs been around. They've been around each other for a few years, but, you know, it's different when you haven't played together in a few weeks, and then when they finally come back as a whole secondary, because they haven't really played all together, you know what I'm saying, like Murphy Bunting got hurt in the Rams, you know what I'm saying, so it's been injury after injury after injury. Then you got Richard Sherman, he coming back, you know, he'll be healthy, so now you got the veteran guy, and I'm pretty sure Richard Sherman is going to take a back seat. I don't think he's going to play a lot once the Bucs secondary is healthy. Let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, once the Bucs secondary is healthy all the way, Richard Sherman's playing time is going to be, at best, a few, 20% of the snaps. Because if Jamel Dean is playing well and Carlton Davis is back healthy and Murphy Bunting is out there, what is the point of Richard Sherman? You can save him. You can reserve him for certain downs, key moments, big games like the Buffalo game, the playoffs. You know, key moments and situations. You can throw Richard Sherman out there. But if the Bucs secondary is completely healthy, where does Richard Sherman fit in at? So this is the things that y'all got to look at during this bye. Now that we're starting to get people healthy again, where does Richard Sherman fall in at? Because a healthy Bucs secondary, Richard Sherman does not play that much. Does he play at all? I mean, how much does he play when everybody's back after this bye week or within the next week or two? I mean, let's keep it real. Like, Richard Sherman's Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, but the Bucs have younger, fresher legs, so he'll be more like the DB coach to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he plays that role really well. Just a guy to just help the Bucs young. I can't keep calling him young. The Bucs have a veteran secondary because you can't keep using the young narrative. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Bucs secondary is still young. Well, how many years are they going to stay young? You can't stay young forever. You can't stay forever young. They've been in the league a few years now, 4 years. You know, Murphy Bunting, 3 years, third year right now. Carl Davis, 4th year. Jamel Dean, 3rd year. Whitehead, 4th year. Like Edwards, 3rd year. Are they still considered young, or they can kind of still like a young veteran, kind of, right? You know what I'm saying? You can get it by the 1st and 2nd year, but when you hit that 3rd and 4th year, it's got to be, you can't be babied no more. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a baby. You should know better. You know what I'm saying? Now, Winfield's still a baby. He's still playing good. But the rest of those guys, they 3rd, 4th-year players, you can't be called a young secondary anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a veteran secondary because you've been around. You know what I'm saying? You got thrown a lot. You got thrown on a lot. You've seen a lot. So, but it's going to be interesting to see once the Bucs secondary is healthy. I think Richard Sherman should go to the coaching side of it, transition into that. Now, coaching debut under Bruce Arians, Todd Bowles. I thought Richard Sherman would be a coach under Pete Carroll because that's where he came from. He's a zone cover cornerback. He's not a cornerback like a man-to-man cornerback. He's a cover 3 cornerback, zone cornerback. Josh Norman is like a Josh Norman type deal, a James Bradbury type deal. So I don't know how he coached a man-to-man type scheme for the Bucs, but they can transition him right on over. You know what I'm saying? And I think they will. I mean, he'll dress out and have his pads on, but I think he'll just be on the sideline. And I think, and low key, I think the Bucs just paid Richard Sherman just to be on the Bucs squad to just help the guys. I think they literally paid him for his knowledge, not for his play. They paid him for the play, but they really paid him for what he know about the game. Let's be real. Like, did you really think that Richard Sherman's going to play a whole 17 games or 13, 14 straight games? Not with that body at cornerback, a demanding position on the outside. We lucky we got a couple games out of him. You know what I'm saying? We lucky we got a couple games out of him. And you seen it. As soon as he played somebody really fast and he tried to put the Jets on, hamstring. That's that 33-year-old body. So we lucky we got a couple games out of him. So, but that's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? That just by watching Richard Sherman interact with the young guys, I think they just paid him to just help the guys mentally. Not really. They didn't really pay him to be on the field. If that makes sense. Hopefully y'all follow. Y'all understand that. That y'all understand that, right? So, but that's good though. Good veteran presence to help the Bucs secondary think, because they have a problem with that. They have a problem with thinking and understanding what the offense is doing in passing downs, because they still don't get it, because Todd Bowles' scheme requires you to really be really good at man-to-man and really diagnosing how fast that ball coming out, and also have a counter move if the ball don't come out fast. You know what I'm saying? If the ball don't come out fast, the Bucs secondary don't really know what to do. If that front 7 gets blocked when they blitz 6-7 men, the Bucs secondary struggle with counter moves, because the play is designed to get the ball out of the quarterback hand, so they know within the first 2.5 seconds it's going to be a slant, out route, or fade. But once that front 7 is blocked, they don't have a counter move. They don't know how to keep up, because remember now, we don't have a quick twitchy secondary, right? We don't have an Ashanti Samuel Jr. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a Mika Fitzpatrick, a Marlon Humphrey. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a Tre'Davious White. We don't have a Ramsey. We don't have a Darius Williams. We don't have a J.C. Horn, a Stephon Gilmore, a Marshawn Lattimore. You know, we don't have those guys. A Fuller, we don't have a Patrick Surtain Jr. We don't have those quick, twitchy, young, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just know how to cover, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got those long, striding cornerbacks, Dean, Carlton Davis, you know what I'm saying? Murphy Bunting is in between. He's not super fast. We don't have a Byron Murphy. We don't have a Tavon Diggs. We don't have that explosive cornerback. We just got steady corners, and so they don't really move well against the Cooper Kupps, the Van Jeffersons, the Robert Woods. That's why they get killed by the Amari Coopers, the CD Lambs. They're going to get destroyed by them. It's just what it is, because they don't keep up with those guys well. They can keep up with guys like Michael Thomas. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get destroyed by Stephon Diggs. They'll get killed by Keenan Allen because quick. You know what I'm saying? They can guard Mike Williams. You know what I'm saying? They can guard those type of guys. They'll get destroyed by Jamar Chase because they don't do well against explosive receivers. Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? They don't keep up well again. They can do good against DeAndre Hopkins. Devontae Adams will destroy them. You know what I'm saying? Tyreek Hill destroyed. They can't handle those receivers. But if you're not fast and quick twitchy, they can lock you down. Marquez Callaway. You know what I'm saying? Those type of receivers. You know, those receivers, they steady, but they're not explosive. But if you have explosive receivers, the Bucs secondary have major problems. I've noticed that not just this year, but last year and the year before. They just don't do well against explosive receivers, explosive passing offenses. This is why they struggle against the Rams. This is why they're going to most likely struggle against the Bills or the Cardinals, Cowboys. They got explosive receivers. Bucs struggle. So during this bye week, they got to watch a lot of film. They got to just review what can they do better. You know, what can they do better? So hopefully y'all enjoy this bye week. No trades happen for the Bucs. No trades. Ronald Jones was available, but at a steep price, which I thought was interesting. What do you mean, Bruce Arians? A steep price? What? Nobody was not gonna give a first or second round for no Ronald Jones. I don't know what delusional. Sometimes Arians be saying some weird stuff, man. It's weird. You be saying some, like, what are you talking about? Like, nobody's giving up no first round, no second round for no Ronald Jones. What do you mean steep price? Did you really, like, all that was just saying is, well, he could be traded if you just give up a really good pick. Nobody's giving up a real good pick for Ronald Jones. Keep the two-back system. Use Ronald Jones more. Probably won't. I'm expecting Fournette to get a bigger dose in the second half. You know, he's the hot running back. Fournette for to have 1,000 yards. Wouldn't that be crazy? This is how you know it's crazy. Ronald Jones was close to getting 1,000 yards last year. What's gonna be crazy? Leonard Fournette get 1,000 yards. Been on the team 2 years. Ronald Jones had to fight through Dort Cutter and his stupid offense, vertical offense. Didn't have no faith in Ronald Jones. And then Bruce Arians come in 1 year of no risk it, no biscuit. Didn't believe in Ronald Jones. Brings in Fournette. Fournette takes over the back half of the season. And then this season, Fournette takes the job and gets 1,000 yards. Man, Ronald Jones, you put that on yourself, man. And and think about it, he still don't believe in Ronald Jones. So that's two coaching staffs that have not 100% got behind Ronald Jones. Pay attention, y'all. Y'all keep saying Ronald Jones this and Ronald Jones that. We this is what we saying, but the coaching staff saying something different. What is your action? What is the actions behind Ronald Jones? The actions tell me that he's a real number two guy. Like, because you know a lot of teams use that two-back system. Ronald Jones is not even really the second. He's a second back, but he's more like 8 carries. He's not like the two-back system they got in Cleveland. You know, the Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb type thing. You know, they both get or the Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Like, that's a real two-back system, like the Arians Jones and the AJ Dillon. That's a real two-back system. Or the Najee Himes and the Jonathan Taylor, or the Dalvin Cook and the guy that's behind Dalvin Cook. That's a real two-back system. A real two-back system. Ronald Jones is just like the guy that just kind of like, he just backs up Fournette when Fournette wants to come out. And Fournette is very durable. Yeah, Montgomery and Herbert. That's a real two-back system. Jamal Williams, DeAndre Swift, a real two-back system. The Bucs don't have a real two-back system. They just use Ronald Jones sparingly. Get your little 5-6 carries. Go look at the Saints game. Get your little couple carries. We'll keep you. They don't trust him. They don't trust Ronald Jones 100%. They don't trust Ronald Jones. What does the actions tell you on how the coaching staff utilize Ronald Jones. As soon as he does something bad, they hammer him. Fournette has done a couple things bad, and yeah, it's just Fournette. A real two-back system will do the Bucs some justice. During this bye week, these next 2 weeks, all this week, all next week, I hope Byron Leftwich during this bye just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. All we are as Bucs fans asking, just give the two-back system a chance. Just give it a real chance. Just one of these games, just be like, you know what? 205 yards passing, but we got 180 yards rushing. Ronald Jones had 90. Fournette had 90. You know what I'm saying? Can we just get some consistency right there? Because we have 14 carries against the Saints. That's not winning football. It's just because if I'm not mistaken, and I hate to keep bringing the New England style offense up, but correct me if I'm wrong, New England can beat you multiple ways. You don't have to be bombs away with New England. So if we got two good backs, because New England had a stable of backs, in 1 minute they throw the ball 45 times, and then the next minute they run the ball 42 times. Like, why can't we do that sometimes? Why has it always got to be 40 passes a game and 14 rushes? Our run to pass ratio is probably the worst in the NFL, or one of the worst. We're one of the few teams that throw the ball probably over 70% of the time. So you're getting too predictable with your formations. Where I'm getting at during this bye, change up the rhythm. It don't have to be chaotic all the time. I'm not saying the passing game can be chaotic because you're slinging the ball over the place, and it works against bad secondaries. But sometimes when you play the better secondaries, it becomes too predictable. So during this bye week, I just want them just to go back and just review it. Like, just run the ball a bit more. Like, in the Saints game, you could have ran the ball 22 times versus 14. It just to change the thought process. Because when you're playing good, well-coached teams, you're predictable. You can't be predictable against the Rams and the Saints, the Cowboys, the Bills, the Cardinals. You can't be predictable against those teams because those teams are too good. Even the Packers, when they get their Alexander back, you can't be predictable. You can't. You just got to run the ball 20 to 25 times sometimes. It don't hurt. It definitely would have helped in the Saints game. So in the bye week, these next 2 weeks, for the stretch run, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I think the running game we're going to see a lot more. Because you got to get prepared for the postseason. Because the postseason, you got to be able to run the ball. The Bucs did it last year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, the Washington football team game, they had to chuck it around a little bit, right? But the Saints game, they ran the ball. The Chiefs game, the Packers game, they ran the ball. Decent, right? The quarterback last year didn't play well in the Saints game and the Packers game. Go back and look at the stats. Go back and look at the tape. He didn't play well. Some interceptions. But that running game was there in the Saints game last year. The running game was there in the Packers game. It was there. So these next 9 weeks for the Bucs, I hope, and in my opinion, I think we're going to see a little bit more of the running game get established because they got to prepare. They got to prepare for the playoffs. That's because this was the second half of the season. It's all about preparing for the playoffs for the Bucs. Outside of the Bills game, and we'll see how the Panthers look at the end of the season. If they floating around that, and we play the Panthers twice in like 4 weeks. So if the Panthers are like, if the Panthers like 3 games over 500, then I'll say that could be interesting because the Panthers defense, after 8 weeks, the Panthers defense is the Panthers defense legit? Because if they are, from what I'm seeing, they're gonna be tough to beat defensively. Now the offense is trash, so that's why we're gonna beat them. But defensively. So we gotta see the running game, right? The Bills and maybe the Panthers defense. We gotta see the running game pop up. And those pesky Colts, those pesky Indianapolis Colts can be a little pesky, a scrappy team. But outside of the Bills and maybe the Colts and the Panthers game. That's what, 4 games? So the next 5 out of the 9 games, W's. Falcons, football team, Giants. You know what I'm saying? Like, Saints. We can beat the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Like, next 5 out of the 9 games are straight up wins. Like, 100%. And then the rest of those games are like, except for the Bills. The Bills are the only 50-50 game left. The Bills is the only 50-50 game left. The rest of those games are Bucs will be favored. And look at the Bills schedule. The Bills got an easy schedule too. So the Bills gonna be riding high too. Yeah. When the Bills come into when we play the Bills, don't be surprised they still got 2 losses. Don't be surprised they like 8-2, 9-2. With a 5-game winning streak. Yeah, big game. Big game. I don't hear no excuse that game. I don't hear it. So this bye week, they need to get their stuff together. Get their sugar, honey, iced tea together. The bye week came at a pretty good time. Right in the middle of the season. Thank you, schedule makers, for hooking up the Bucs. Now, granted, next year, being that we're divisional winners, the schedule will be harder. So good luck next year on the schedule. But hey, that's next year. Because remember, divisional winners get the harder schedule. I wouldn't be surprised the Saints still got a winning record when we play them too. I'm expecting them to be probably with 3 or 4 losses going into Tampa. So they'll still be over 500. So that'll still be a good game. Revenge game. But other than that, man, this bye week, man, we need it as a fan base too. Because we got to calm down. The bye week is not only for the players, but also the fan base. Because y'all be reckless out there. I'm not saying that my powers of C-band is good. I'm talking about you guys over in that Facebook group. That Facebook group is so chaotic. So negative. So much fighting, arguing over there in the Facebook groups. I really don't even talk in the Facebook groups no more because it'd be so much negativity. So much bad energy in the Facebook groups. Technically, it's gotten boring. I'd rather come on here and talk. So the fan base, this buy is for you as well. Or it's for us. Relax. Take a deep breath. Stop making excuses. Accept the L's to the Rams and the Saints. They were better teams. Accept the L. Stop being in denial. As a Bucs fan, stop being arrogant. Stop walking around the football world or the metaverse of football world, with your nose in there like you can't be beat. You've been beaten twice. And as a fan base, we got to be able to handle L's. You got to be able to handle L's as a fan base. I get it. We can be frustrated. We got to act like we know how to win. Right now, the Bucs fan base, I'm very disappointed. Chaotic, toxic, negative. I can say a lot more words, but that's going too deep. But y'all get where I'm going with this. Bucs fan base, calm down. Because over here in the Bucos Locker, the Powers and Sea Bandits, we are chilling. We good. We ain't got no bad apples over here. Ain't no negativity. There is no toxic. You look at my comments. My comments are not toxic. Every now and then I might get a troll, but we good over here. The Powers and Sea Bandits is good. You Facebook Bucs fans, y'all different. Y'all different. And you Patriots fans, that's Bucs fans, that's masking as Bucs fans, what y'all think? I want to make a video on that too during this bye week. I want to make a video. I want to talk to the Patriots Bucs fans. What do y'all think about the I'll save that. First down. Anyway, I think I summarized it up. I got a lot more videos to cover, a lot more things to talk about, but I just want to talk about the main topic was the bye week, who's coming back, what the Bucs need to do. But we got more topics and more discussions to cover in this bye week. I'm gonna talk to I'm gonna talk to the Bucs fan base. I really want to have a conversation with the Bucs fan base. So stay tuned for that one. There's some things I just don't like about the fan base right now, or not everybody, but there's a group of people, a percentage of the Bucs fan base just get on my nerves. You know what I'm saying? It's always complaining and negative. Anyway, learn how to take an L. Anyway, with that being said, subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share all the videos, and don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you on all new videos that's posted on this channel. We got a bye week, folks. Enjoy it. Rest up. Get your voice right. Get your emotions under control in check. And prepare for the second half of the season, because definitely Bucos Locker going to be ready. And act like a real fan. Stop acting like a sore loser when we lose. Shouts out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits for joining another episode of Locker Room Talk with your boy, Bucos Locker, a.k.a. Isaiah. With that being said, fire those cannons. Seize the day. Raise the flag. Hashtag no risky, no biscuit. Hashtag facts over feelings. Hashtag bombs away. Hashtag what you doing, Bucs fan base? We gotta talk. I'll talk to you later. I'm out.